Rotary group. Back when I was a 4-H'er, obviously a lot of community service work in my small county, rural county up there, Northern California. And as we talk about this topic of what Veterans Victory Alliance is and our mission, it's interesting that if you'd asked me maybe as a little 10, 11-year-old what I wanted to do and what mattered to me growing up, it would have been running a camp, an outdoors venue. And so as you know, flash forward all these years, and as I transitioned out of the military and was looking for a way to still have a purpose in my life and to do something that mattered, having a camp with a purpose came up, and that became my follow-on mission. And although I'm still working, it's still in the space arena, much as Mary does, this became a focus point for us for the future and something that we felt compelled to provide and to pursue its development. And the screen that you saw up first was an overview shot of the ranch. And so in true Army fashion, I moved forward and secured the land. So Moon Eagle River Ranch is 17 acres, and you're going to hear a little bit about it. And we provided some pictures today, and wanted to tell you about its purpose, its mission, and potentially where we have opportunities to team and partner going into the future. Ravalli County is a very active community, as most rural areas are, and they rely on each other as a community. And it just so happens that this particular space was not by accident. It's in a very veteran heavy area as well. So yes, I was in the military, but it probably really started, a lot of my, I guess, community orientation started in 4-H. And so the team that I've been so fortunate to gather is connected to 30 years or so being in the Department of Defense, and a lot of the amazing people that I've had the privilege to serve with and be around. And Mary is one of those mentors and big sisters who I instantly knew when we met. We came from a similar place. And so years later, you'll find that all the board of directors and the people who support our mission are folks we've served with. And so that trust relationship and knowing where people come from has been central to us building out our team. So before I dive into the who are we part, Mary, let you say a quick hello and introduce yourself.
Got the right button. Okay. So good morning. As Tori said, I'm very happy to be here with you. Veterans Victory Alliance is something that I just kind of fell into. Tori and I were having a cup of tea at a little tea house here in Colorado Springs, where they have a 28-foot teepee out back. We were sitting in that teepee just because it's cool. Why wouldn't you sit in a teepee to have a cup of tea? And she started telling me about this idea she had. And one thing you need to know about Colonel Retired Miralda is she is a force of nature, not just a force to be reckoned with, a force of nature. And she passionately believes in this project. And it was immediately a magical idea, just something I had to be a part of. I retired from the Army, as Tori did, a colonel after 30 years, and found myself working as a civilian. And it's just different. You really miss soldiers. And that's why I volunteered with the employer support of the Guard and Reserve. You may be familiar with them as well. And really enjoy still being around soldiers. And now that I'm an old crusty vet myself, I realize that there is a need for that population. There's a tremendous gap in caring for that segment. So this opportunity that she was hatching and this plan that she was growing seemed like a natural fit for addressing that segment, which I am now a part of. So happy to be here with you this morning.
Thank you, Mary. And as we go through this, we'd love a dialogue. So Mike, please stop us, wave if there are any questions or areas where folks want to go a little bit deeper. We're going to go through this pretty quickly. And at the heart of all of our focus and why this place exists is the massive problem we have with suicide rates. And so we all have different experiences of people we've lost. They may come home, but they come home with invisible wounds that society doesn't necessarily see, but it takes them many, many years to address. And, you know, the statistics say it takes at least 2 to 3 years for veterans to even begin to acknowledge individually PTS, they call it, post-traumatic stress. And one of our chief of staffs refused to call it a disorder. So I follow in his footsteps, because it's not really a disorder. It is a state of humanity that's been impaired with a lot of our folks who have seen things that, you know, no folks should have to ever see or be part of. And so they come back, and the greatest way to inspire and help rejuvenate them is through community, like folks who understand them, and certainly the healing outdoors. And so as we look at Moon Eagle River Ranch, a little bit about who we are a team of people who have come together, who see this issue and challenge for our veterans, and often our first responders as well. So police force and firemen, and certainly ER nurses, and the impact of COVID have also increased the demand for a location, right? A place where people can go. There are many programs, but as Mary's worked on our business case, we've realized there aren't a lot of places that have been set aside where programs can conduct their activities in a way that is surrounded by nature and the recreational opportunities that nothing like the outdoors provides. And so as we stood up the nonprofit and selected a location to do this, it became very apparent that it was a fantastic location, being surrounded by national forest and wilderness, and being right next to the Springer Memorial community as well. And we can talk about that a little bit more later. So this first year, quick snapshot of what we've done. You know, all the initial things, we're official status, we have the land purchase, we have our board of directors stood up, a lot of renovation going on. At our first offsite, we assembled and set our mission, our vision, and our values, and all of that is on our website, and we'll provide you that link at the end. And we also became members of our local community and have made a real effort to get to know them, because they're an essential part of the success of this nonprofit, and that is working with the local community in terms of outfitters and fishing guides and horseback riding, and all of that is central to the programs that we will be supporting. And so being members there of the chamber, as well as working with the Montana Nonprofit Association, a tremendous resource out there, became our first steps. And as we look at this year's objectives, we're having an open house in July, our first fundraiser, and we'll continue to build those relationships and pick our strategic partners. And we've been a little picky about our partners. We want to make sure that we choose and align with other nonprofits who are similarly minded on focused on service and helping people in terms of activities and programs, not necessarily the counseling type things we always think of, but by getting veterans out there and doing activities where they will just naturally start to connect and help each other. And so our motto, if you will, is to reconnect, recreate, and rejuvenate. And the reconnection is really with after careers of service, reconnecting with themselves in a space where there's clarity. You can hear yourself think, you can hear the river running, see the eagles flying, and that allows for a peace that we don't often find in today's urban environment, but also reconnection with their community, people who understand them and can just listen and kind of be part of their path to processing a lot of what they've gone through in their careers. And then the recreation is obviously a mechanism by which we find tons of evidence out there that recreational activities and being in the outdoors help people process, regain confidence, and kind of shed a lot of some of the not so happy things that they've gone through on their path. And then of course the rejuvenation is our ultimate goal, is to send people back out to the world stronger, strengthened both in alliances and more aligned with what they want and need to do with the next chapters in their life. And so you see the picture there, the team. This is one of our first team meetings there. Everybody here, everyone from Desert Storm, friends there. One of our Marine board members there is Race with his daughter. And there's my service dog, Luna. And so she typically is there on site with us as well. So Mary, did I miss anything you want to highlight on this chart? Over to you.
No, I think you covered the key points.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Mike, chart number 3. Just to get you dialed in on where we're at up there, we are on the southwestern sector of Montana, so pretty much touching Idaho. There's a ski area 20-25 minutes away. And so when we fly into Missoula. You could fly into Butte, but it's a tremendous fishing area. The Bitterroot Valley itself is famous for fishing. It is where, and a river runs through it, was filmed, but also more currently, it is where they are filming Yellowstone, the series. And so a lot of people, when you see that imagery in Yellowstone, that's the valley where we're at. And on the bottom right, we put a little snapshot there of a couple of the cabins there. We call it the Bear Den and the Baby Bear. And those cabins are historic original Montana homestead cabins. And so we put a lot into renovating them and making them inhabitable for people who come and visit us up there. So any questions on this chart before we go to the next? Okay, Mike. And Mike, you'll have to let me know if there's any questions there. Okay, so this snapshot gives you the bottom line on our mission and our vision. And what you see here is the valley where the ranch is nestled in. And as I mentioned, it is surrounded by peaks and forest and wilderness, actual national wilderness, and it's just north of the Continental Divide. On the right, you see our flagpole and kind of the main house structure there. This summer, a bunch of Marines are getting together and they're making this our memorial garden where we will conduct ceremonies. And on the 2nd of July, during our open house, we'll be having moments there to honor those who have served and those who haven't come back. And always an important central part of our gatherings there. So our mission, quite frankly, is to provide this ranch facility to conduct events and to receive people for those programs. And then our vision is to, over the years, grow and become the venue of choice in Montana, but to be a national resource where, I mean, who doesn't want to fly into Montana, right? It's hard to get to sometimes, depending on the time of the year. It does take some planning, but it's also a drive up to the Grand Tetons, and Yellowstone is there, and certainly Glacier National Park. So if you drive there, there's also benefits as well along the way of seeing the nation and then arriving at a destination where you can rest along the river. So Mary, anything you'd like to highlight here on our mission?
It is rather, as Tori said, the drive up from Missoula. You'd fly into Missoula to get out there. And the drive is very scenic. But I also wanted to note that the roads are really well maintained. So as our vision to bring organizations out there, small groups, 7 to 10 people, whatever, it's something that can be an all year, all season, all winter, all weather destination because it's state, national, and county roads. And those are the main arteries going into these small communities. So they're well maintained. And I'm a chicken driving in the snow, but I've always felt very comfortable driving up there. Over.
Good. Thank you, ma'am. So this location and how you get there, there's various ways to get there, but next chart, please, Mike. We wanted to show you the layout. So as we dial in here, this is the 17 acres. There's several parcels there, about 7, 3 different wells and several different facilities. So one of the properties on the bottom left is it's currently an Airbnb. We renovated it. It's the staff house where the folks running the program stay. We stay there during our team meetings, but it's during downtime, it's rented out to help us with revenue. The sector along the river, if you can see where the river kind of traces that northern portion of the ranch, we have lots of future plans there for a lodge and certainly outdoor warrior pavilion for yoga and stretching and such. But the upper right, which is the northeastern sector, that's where the majority of the buildings current are. And that's where what we call ops, our team house, is at. And we have placed it in official status as a veteran team house. And so across the street where the Springer Memorial folks are, there's probably 100 to 150 veterans and family members over there. That is a place where they can go and gather and spend time. And as we grow in the future, we intend to put a welcome center in as you come in, a little coffee shop, a place where folks can come and not just walk their dogs, but also sit and talk to each other and share stories and tell some fun lies. So we definitely know that they need a place to be. We currently have the teepee is set up out here as well as the campfire, and that's another assembly point where today people can go and sit and spend time together. The local kids love to raft down that river, so they go up to the swimming hole and they come on down to the ranch and they hop out and sit by the campfire. So that's another fun thing that we've done in the past, and I'm sure we'll continue to grow. There are RV hookups, which is really nice for those coming in to support us and volunteer. And we do have that connection with the community. But one of the things we thought you all might be able to help us with is building our relationship with the local, the Rotary team there in Ravalli County. And so that's one of our asks. And for those of you brave enough to hit the road or fly in, the 2nd of July is definitely a great time to showcase some of those great safety vests I just saw. I was texting Mary in the background going, ooh, I like those. We need something like that to help conduct. It's going to be a bike ride along the river, starting at the ranch, returning to the ranch, and then having a chili cook-off and some local vendors there. So that's meant to be our open house day. And pending any questions, let me pop to the next chart. Here is a picture of Springer Memorial supporters, and then there's Mary on the right-hand side reading the charter. And so the establishment of the Springer Memorial was the Billy Springer Memorial, I should call it, was based in World War II. A father lost his son and then made a decision to dedicate this land and property in a healing place where veterans could they lease a 1 acre parcel, and they're allowed to lease it for 25 plus years, and they can renew it twice. So basically they can live there. And as the years go by and different improvements are made, the price may vary from $40,000 to $60,000, but it's a real, there's a long waiting list obviously for it, but people who move in there have the community that they choose, right? It's a multi-generational veteran location. There's Navy SEALs in there. You can see in the center, Dustin, he is our ranch foreman. That's his backhoe. He's helping us set up the teepee and campfire site. And on the left, you see Kevin, and he was a United States Air Force aircraft, electronic warfare communications leader. And so amazing people live out there, and they have shown up for us and have been supporting us. Mary, what else should we say about Springer Memorial and how they've been a central part of our planning?
Well, they were an unexpected find. And that was just another indicator that we found the right piece of land. When Tori came upon this parcel, it was clear that we were in the right spot with the right people next door. They're all very willing to assist. They see the need also in this underserved community, which they are a part of. And I think this is a lot of cases of spouses saying, you don't have to go back to work, but you can't sit here, go find something else to do. And happily we moved in across the street. So they're very, and they have a wide assortment of mountain skills, ranch craft, know-how, and have been able to solve a myriad of problems. And everybody knows somebody. If somebody says, I know a guy, the guy they know may be the neighbor. And everybody knows a guy who knows how to do something. So they've been really essential. And it's been really fun building up this partnership. As Tori said, a multi-generational, multi-conflict, multi-year look at how people reacted in the military, you know, their war versus my war and all the wars in between. And it's by working with us, I think that is also very healing for them. Over. I keep saying over, I'm sorry.
We're used to it. No, definitely a huge benefit of having folks who've traveled down this path of recovery before the younger generation, if you will. So central. Mike, next chart, please. I'll try to pick it up here. We've talked a little bit about where we are, but wanted to give you again perspective of almost the park-like setting up there. That's a picture of our TP. And then on the right side, that is River Song. That's the staff house I mentioned. That is in the off hours or off days rented out through Airbnb. And although it's under a private LLC right now, it is available and priority goes to the team, and all that is connected to VVA. Next chart, please. Oh, I didn't mention the stable there. That's another great asset. So in the future, as we go forward, we do hope to have some equine therapy programs. It's just we're not there full-time enough yet, but that is available, and the stable is like literally nicer than most homes. It's pretty beautiful. It has a bathroom in there and tack room and the grain room. So why we do what we do. So on the left there, you see, that's a picture of Dustin, right, Mary? And so that's the river right behind the property there. And so, as we mentioned before, part of the unique mission here is we can provide the place. There's programs out there, but they all need a place to go. And so we consider this sacred ground that's set aside and available to veterans and first responders. And it's dedicated. And next chart, please. All right, our near-term goals and how we're gonna chip away at getting fully stood up. We're at initial operating now. We can do rustic support, but as we grow every year, we have developmental plans and objectives. So on this particular chart here, I better let my COO brief it. Mary, over to you.
Okay, super, thank you. So in our immediate look is we have to be able to make the space accessible. So a lot of snow up there. Our first goal right now, as we are in midway through on Montana winter, is to get a tractor and some snow plow equipment. We're submitting grants for the kind of money that it's going to take to do that. And then we realize we'll have clients who will be coming down and will need special accommodation. So you can see there the kind of things that we're short-term focused on. And we feel pretty confident that we'll be able to meet these goals through grants and some private donors and fundraising. Right now, in April, we have 3 fundraisers planned. No judging, folks. We have 2 breweries and a distillery who have come online and said that they will do fundraising efforts for us. And that'll get us probably a couple $1,000s, but nowhere near what we need to do. The bigger benefit of that is awareness. So we'll take the cash and we really seek the awareness and get into the community of nonprofit agencies that are looking for support. Now, our capital campaign, on the other hand, is a 3-year plan that will reset every year at the 2-year mark, so we can reassess what our needs are. Right now, you saw the plot of land, the drawing that Tori had with the big blue line around it, and you saw a lot of open space. And we seek to build 8 4-person cabins, a shower and toilet facility like you might see in a national park, and then to renovate one of our existing structures into a kitchen and a dining hall. As it stands, it's fairly rustic. So we're looking at about $1 million in grants, corporate gifts, and corporate sponsorship to construct these facilities in order to support our goals. Right now, we can take a lot of Boy Scouts with a lot of tents, but our focus population, of course, we would like to have those set accommodations for them to be able to feel comfortable in. And so this is what we're looking at. And the business strategy is about complete, so we can start submitting that with our applications for fundraising. We will be a part of the combined federal campaign in the 2022 giving season. And if you're a military or retired military, you know what that is. If you're not, you know that that is the world's largest fundraising opportunity, and millions are raised every year through military members around the world, military and civilian employees of the government. So we hope to benefit from that. We are supported through Amazon Smile. We have a Kindful platform, which you can access through our Facebook page and website, which you'll see on the next slide. So that's a snapshot there of our goals. They're pretty big. They're long range, and we're not going to give up. We are going to press on. So far, all systems are go. We just need to get some grants, corporate sponsors, or corporate gifts on board to help us achieve our long range goals, and then private donors and some fundraising to help us achieve our short and intermediate goals.
Can I ask a question, please?
Certainly.
So how do you reach veterans to let them know about your facility?
What we have realized is that everybody knows a whole lot of different people. So what we have started with is just the word of mouth campaign. It's a group of 12 here in the core group, and each person is worth hundreds of people through social media, through direct contact. In order to reach our customers, we do internet searches, we do just awareness through work with the VA, with military organizations that we are all members of. And we learn of organizations that meet our core values. They match up with us, align with us, with our values and objectives, and need a place to go. And so we reach out to them. We'll make that call, and we'll introduce ourselves. Tori will invite them up to the ranch. They come out, we take a look at them, they take a look at us, and we see if we're a good fit for one another, and then we would host their programs. What we do is provide the space and all the aspects of hospitality. We provide them with a menu of partners that are in the area, outfitters, activities that are available, everything from stargazing to horseback riding to archery, you name it. We can come up with an outfitter who will provide that. And I say that with full confidence because at various times, various board members are up there in the region talking with folks and signing them up to become partners with us through the community, through the Better Business Bureau. We are now known partners with other agencies and companies in the area. So we have a menu of activities. We execute a contract with the partner. They bring the people. We have lined up the activities, and we go to town.
Okay, so you don't provide a facility for single veterans then? What you're looking for are groups of people, is that right?
Yes, we would have an opportunity for a single veteran. If someone sees us on Facebook or online and says, boy, I want to get in on that, then they contact us and we match them up with a program that's coming. And so they have an opportunity to integrate that way. Tori?
Okay.
Yeah, so there's kind of a twofold way to access them, if you will. One is certainly through our website and our activities or fundraising, open houses and such, where if a veteran sees that we exist and wants to get there, as we form these more formal alignments with other partners, strategic partners, we're calling them, then they will be listed on our website. And we have several in the works because we had to figure out first, what are the metrics, right, by which we wanted to select partners? What are the types of, the transparency and what percentage of their funds actually go towards services? And so not all programs out there are like us or focused on the same thing. And so as we select strategic partners, both will be available through our website, but also as they sign up for those programs, as we investigate, as Mary described, these teaming alliances, then they will bring their programs to Moon Eagle River Ranch. And so it's a two-way kind of an access thing. And also throughout all of this is our network, which is a powerful network in the veteran community. The local fire chief is actually an Army retiree as well, and her husband was a Marine, and they're part of the support crew for the upcoming open house and bike ride on the 2nd of July, as is the local county sheriff and the police department. And as I was working with the police department, again, was an Army soldier for a while. So we find everywhere we turn, there's veterans in that area. Many of them go there because it does provide them the solitude that they seek and the ability to take hikes with their dog and to be outdoors and rejuvenate. So those partners are evolving, and that's one of our focus points for this year, is to solidify those strategic partnerships and the programs that we're going to start with. So Warriors in Quiet Waters, the Travis Manion Foundation, we've looked at Project Sanctuary, which is more family focused. But as we do that, we also welcome your thoughts and ideas on appropriate organizations out there we may not know about. So as we build that list, that is also where we could use help, who has a need, and certainly in the future, a more established relationship with the VA. Right now, that's through our own experience, but I'd love to see that formalize in the next year or so.
You mentioned partnering with a Rotary group in that area.
We'd like to.
How would that work? Are they
So
involved with you now?
What's that?
Are they involved with you now?
Not yet. No, that's why we were so excited that Mike brought up the introduction to you all, because we thought you may know people there and know how to enter into that conversation and then invite them out. July obviously is the perfect time to invite them out. But even sooner than that, I'd love to go by and meet them, maybe in person, brief them on who we are and what we're doing. I'm actually on the plane tomorrow heading up there. So Hamilton is one of the towns close by. Missoula is probably the biggest town where the university is that they might be. So that's where we also need your suggestions. Okay, Mike, can you go to the last chart, please? I know you have brochures there as well to have our website, but if you'd like to follow up, please, Mike can always find us and put you in touch with us. If you have questions or something you just didn't ask today, please let us know. I call them the local gangsters. These bighorn sheep are everywhere and they're often on the roads out there. And so seeing them through the seasons is part of the joy of being out there, is that wildlife. And so we thought we'd end with a picture of them and how to find us. So any questions? Mike, back to you.
I'd
Yeah,
just
Dave.
like to mention, we really would appreciate it if you would find us on the web and then find us on Facebook, like and follow us on Facebook, and we will like and follow you back, both from your Rotary and from your businesses. It just expands our view and expands our exposure. The more eyes on and the more knowledge, the more of us, the more we can get feedback, hopefully donors, participants. On our websites, you'll find links to our Kindful platform. So anybody who has a little jingle in their pocket they don't know what to do with, I'm happy if you want to jingle it over to my pocket. If your companies are looking for the corporate donor program, we'd be happy to talk to you about how to become sponsors of perhaps a building, maybe several organizations coming together to sponsor a cabin. We're looking for creative ways to put up these buildings in a timely, efficient manner so we can start hosting people in indoor settings. We don't need the place to look like NASCAR with signs all over every building, but we are looking for opportunities or offering people opportunities to put up a cabin, sponsor a cabin, or come together and sponsor the mess hall. So we are wide open and very happy to accept any kind of support. Likewise with material, if your private or organization, your business doesn't have a cash giving program, perhaps they can donate old usable equipment that we can refurb or we can put to good use up at the ranch. We're very creative and very open to any kind of giving that you may feel in your heart moved to support us with. Thank you.
Ladies, just a question for me. What do you think on participation, veterans versus first responders? And many times they're one and the same. I think we're going to see more first responders as a high base need as well moving forward. So just seeing your mission and what you're trying to do, what do you kind of foresee the future of that being from a participation perspective?
I think it could be even more ultimately first responders, not only because of the COVID experience our nation's been going through, but as we start local and build out, that local firefighting community, as you know, firefighters fly all over, right? Helping each other and augmenting different states in firefighting. And I think that's huge. The police force, as they dwindle in numbers and have tougher and tougher challenges with our society, definitely need a safe place to go. And so that word comes up a lot, a safe haven, place where they can be understood and connect. And I think that's only going to increase. And we purposely put that in our mission statement. When I spoke with Warriors in Quiet Waters, their mission was just for veterans, and they've been trying to expand it out, but organizations get stagnant sometimes and like to stick with what's working. So we purposely kept our mission statement open to include them because we, like you pointed out, we see the need as well. Mary?
No, agree. And one of the other focus areas that we look for in the future is women veterans with sexual trauma and women first responders. It's just a different set of issues that they face, and we want to have a safe space for just women to come together without all the other stuff that they have to worry about. So that's also in our business strategy, is to look forward to that and encourage those kinds of organizations. Again, reaching out, the people that we don't know, the groups that we don't know, we hope we are introduced to through organizations like you. So everybody knows somebody, right?
Perfect. Thank you very much. Very interesting. And just to let you know that the 501c3, the nonprofit, is licensed in Montana, but Mary and Tori are in Colorado Springs. So the reason that we thought it would be appropriate, to talk to Rotary clubs is because this organization deals with organizations all across the United States. And Rotary is a international organization, so there could be a very interesting synergy there. So thank you very much. And if there's any questions, I will make sure that they get your contact information. And yeah, Dan.
I just want to say thank you to Mike
I'll do
for
that.
setting this up. I know you all know Mike. He's an active member of your Rotary, but he came to us through another connection and a fellow soldier who was Mike's next door neighbor for a while. And what a godsend, what a blessing. Tori and I are pretty good at poking around on the internet, but Mike is pretty good at making the internet. So all of the things that you see on the website, that is his magic. And we couldn't be more grateful for having Mike on our team of advisors.
Thanks, just like I wrote it. Yeah, okay. Thank you. John, you're up.
Happy park time. Who's happy?
I'm happy to be back from Florida. But yeah, I'm trying to tell you. I'm happy to be back from Florida visiting my mother-in-law.